see the oneness of us family. Open our hands that all may be fed. Open our hearts that all may find refuge. Open our eyes that all may see the oneness of us family.
Yate Kara Barbara Binashe, Shinashle Natani Bashichin. Good morning and good afternoon, friends and family and community members. It's my pleasure to introduce you to a video that's going to share perspectives from our community members regarding World Food Day. And we are super excited to be part of this community, and we're really honored to be able to contribute what we can. I'm the founding principal of the Native American Community Academy and the founding executive director of the Knock Inspired Schools Network. We really value Indigenous perspectives in the work that we do with our youth and families each and every day. It's been about 16 years that we've been serving the greater Albuquerque community as well as other communities across the country. And today I'm at our Indigenous Farm Hub, and when I think about sustainability, it's very clear to me that as a community as well as individuals, we need to take into thought in our mind and our heart how we perceive food, where our food comes from, how it's grown, the relationship to not only the land but also water, and also how we distribute that food to ensure that all of our families and communities have access to healthy food. So the Indigenous Farm Hub is really a solution that came out of the vision of a collective of folks who helped envision the mission and vision of our school. And one aspect was to have students be holistically well in all aspects of who they are, intellectually, socially, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, as well as a connection to their home community wherever they're from. We represent over 62 different tribes, 14 different ethnicities. In a given year, we celebrate at this time of year is the Navajo New Year, so it's really a time for reflection and harvest and bringing in kind of new thoughts about what it is that we're thankful for. So with that, we hold an annual feast day and bring people together to share in providing food to everybody. So when we think about hunger, if we think about access, it's something that we really take seriously, and we actually put that into our actions and our values. Two values that are indigenous to our community are reflection and community. And so this is a time for us to reflect and to give back and be of service to our community as well. We've been able to work with our partners across the city to be able to provide CSA shares to several families throughout the season, and we'll continue to do that as we move into the next season. The last thing I just want to kind of share and close with is, as we think about indigeneity, that all of us have some sort of indigenous connection to our home community or where we're from. We partner with other organizations as well that work with refugees and also immigrants, and we'll be working with a new school that'll be coming online in the fall, which will be in the International District, and so we're really excited for that, to be able to connect with them and also bring together the students at NACA and the students that will be attending that school, which will be younger students in the elementary years. So it's my pleasure. I hope everybody has an amazing time connecting around this issue, and also realizing that sustainability is all of our responsibilities. And if we work together, I really think that we can make a positive difference in creating systems that are honoring the earth, honoring one another, and honoring our ancestors as well as the generations to come.
Shalom. I'm Rabbi Min Kanferowitz. I'm part of the clergy team at Congregation Nachalat Shalom in Albuquerque. To mark World Food Day, I want to tell a short story from the Talmud. There was a wise man named Honi who was walking along a road one day and saw an old man planting a tree, a carob tree. Carob trees take many years to yield fruit. And so Honi asked this man, "Why are you planting a tree? You're an old man." Do you think you're really going to live long enough to eat the fruit of this tree? And the man answered, No, I don't expect I will. But my ancestors planted trees so that I would be able to eat the fruit. This is the spirit of World Food Day, the idea being that we are going to deal with sustainability by thinking about the future. We want to ensure the maintenance of an equitable, just, and healthy society by making sure we treat the land with respect so that it will be able to produce for the future. Thank you.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Alan Brower, and I'm part of the Indigenous Farm Hub. We're here in Corrales, New Mexico. Right behind me is some of our blue corn fields. But I'm super excited to share a little bit more about the work that we're doing. The Indigenous Farm Hub is part of One Generation, which is a project of the Tide Center. And we really are centered around engaging families, community members, and farmers to create healthy food systems, build prosperity for farmers and for other food workers, and to reconnect the bond between agriculture and indigenous language and culture. And so this is, so far we're in our second year, and here at the Farm Hub in Corrales, we have about 2 acres of produce that we have planted throughout the year. We use regenerative practices and organic practices where possible to create the healthiest foods for our families that we serve. Right now we're serving almost 100 families within our first full year. We've partnered up with so many different groups such as Native American Community Academy, NACA, Nota Begay, the Third Foundation, NAPR, which is Native American Professional Parents Resources, and the United Way of Central New Mexico to really ensure that our food are benefiting as many family members as possible. We use a CSA style structure, a community supported agriculture structure, which is essentially providing a box of produce as a subscription throughout the 22-week growing season that we have here at the farm. And so it's been a great year. There's been a lot of learning, especially within a year that's been so dry that we've had. And we are having such a great opportunity to think about how do we build upon the strengths that we experienced this year to support and nurture even more families, for sure. 2 other things that I wanted to share. We are a production agriculture facility, so we do want to create as much food as possible and provide that to families that could benefit, and build a customer service base as well, a customer base as well.
My name is Terja Toya Wakanda. I work at Native American Community Academy. I'm from the Pueblos of Laguna, Hopi. I'm Irish, English, and I've been working at NACA for about 7 years, but I've been a part of NACA since it opened in 2006. As my son was in the first 6th grade class. We established our parent organization at NACA in about 2009 to help bridge the gap for families and staff. And during that time we also noticed a need during holidays for food with our families. We unfortunately are a Title I school, which means we have about a 88 to 90% population that live below poverty. And when the pandemic hit NACA in 2020, we had many families that lost their jobs and were struggling or became sick. And so as a school, we decided to take care of our families by offering to do food boxes. So in April of 2020, we started providing food boxes weekly for any of our families that were struggling at NACA. And we started with probably doing 25, went up to about 50 in the summer as things increased and food was harder to come by. And we were fortunate enough to work with the Indigenous Farm Hub to help us to provide the fresh produce for our families, which helped us as well because it meant we could spend more money on the meat and then provide the vegetables from the farm for our families. As of today, we are still continuing to provide food to our families. We are down to every other week now, so we're doing food baskets every other week for families. We have been using the Farm Hub, the Indigenous Farm Hub from Karen Allen throughout the whole year up until the end of September. And we were able to provide for our families the vegetables that came from the fields. And I think we also included recipes for our families, and I think that was huge because a lot of our families weren't sure sometimes of how to cook different things, and so providing recipes with the food boxes also gave families different ideas on how to serve meals that were healthy for our families. Right now we're doing about 20 to 25 food boxes every other week, and we will continue to do this throughout the school year until we exhaust all our funds, which hopefully will last us until June of 2022.
Center. So we've worked with a couple different schools within our networks that are bringing their students out here from kindergarten through 12th grade to reconnect with the land, do land-based learning, environmental science, as well as connect the language and cultural aspects of their identities to the act of farming and just reconnecting to the soil. We also are going to start our Farmers in Training program through some funding that we received so that we can bring Indigenous farmers here to our farm. While they're here, they're going to learn about how to grow food, and both traditional and other foods that maybe people may see more frequently in the grocery store. And then they're going to be creating a business plan and a business model that's really rooted in their home community, so that once they leave us, they are ready to launch their own enterprise in their local community to meet the community's needs for healthy and fresh foods. And so we do a lot here for sure, and it's been it's super awesome this first year where we are kind of intersecting between growing food, training our next generation of farmers who are in kindergarten through 12th grade, and re-engaging older people who are really interested in farming as a enterprise and as a profession. And so through this process, we're going to be able to really meet our three main goals, which is food sovereignty for all of our people, cultural sovereignty, reconnecting that bond between language and culture, and land sovereignty, where we're reclaiming land and putting it back into agricultural use so that we can benefit our community members as much as possible. And so thank you so much for joining us here today, and we look forward to having you here and visiting sometime.
Mother Earth, Father Sky, Holy Spirit, Creator, Diné, I pray to you for appreciation of this day. I am thankful for the food I eat, the water I drink. I'm thankful for the water, the fire, the earth, the air. And I just pray to you for balance. I pray to you for peace. I pray for you for help, your guidance. I pray for all the people out there who are suffering worldwide, that they are able to build a relationship with you, that they are able to help themselves, that they are able to help each other. And I just pray for you for Ke to be expressed amongst our people, amongst the world. And I pray to you for blessings, for guidance, for wisdom. Ashore, Hashtawult Hojonashada, Hojonas clean, Hojonas clean, Hojonas clean, Hojonas clean.
Diné Introspective is a Native nonprofit community-based organization that has been in practice since 2017. and established in 2018. Our services include social justice, environmental justice, digital justice, and food sovereignty. We are a Native-led and Native operation organization. We are composed of young Natives, farmers, scholars, educators, and community organizers in the Navajo Nation. Our mission is to strengthen Indigenous communities and families through revitalizing our identity, resilience, and ancestral knowledge to sustain a healthy lifestyle. Our vision is to think in beauty, talk in beauty, and walk in beauty. Our core values are self-motivation, educational awareness, peer support, and cultural heritage. Yat she tachini nishle nida dine bashichin bitani dasche auto toto chini dashnele. Yat she Brianna Lehman yinishya. Hi everyone, my name is Brianna Lehman. I am the chair of board of directors for Diné Introspective. I'm from Shiprock, New Mexico, which is located on the Navajo Nation. I'm currently a second-year graduate student at the University of Arizona in health promotion, health behaviors, and focusing my studies on Indigenous health and health disparities. I am also a farmer in Shiprock, New Mexico, growing corn, melon, squash, and leafy greens.
Yate tachini nishle na dan dene bashishi bitatni dashache torachini dashanele Kyle Yinshe. Hello everybody, my name is Kyle. I am a tribal member of the Diné Nation. I live here in Shiprock, New Mexico, Shiprock Navajo Nation. I am a father, a farmer, and a community activist. I also serve on the Diné Introspective as the executive director and co-founder. And my passion is always with my people in regards to food, the water, the environment, the air. And I feel that it is our sole purpose to take care of one another and have that special relationship with the Creator, the earth, and ourselves. Thank you.
As part of Diné Introspective, one of the programs we offer is Bestestugi Be'ina, which is Arrowhead Lifeway, and it is a pandemic relief or a mutual aid located in the Northern Navajo Agency area, but based in Shiprock, New Mexico. Since the start of the pandemic, Arrowhead Lifeway was created to provide relief to families and individuals impacted by COVID-19. We understood families and individuals were afraid of leaving their homes, and oftentimes they did. The stores were empty. So we offered a lot of drive-through services, drop-offs for families who do not have transportation, who tested positive for COVID-19 or lost their job. So we partnered with our local leaders, community organizers from schools, senior centers, community health workers, and local chapter houses to assist with distributing food boxes in their own communities. So we relied on a lot of grants, monetary donations, and networking with local organizations to create and supply food boxes. So we purchased majority of our food from Native-owned businesses and redistribute the funding into local Native-owned businesses. So we wanted to help alleviate the food insecurity in our communities, and that we wanted to make sure Native-owned businesses were a part of that. So to date, we have served over 12,000 families in the Northern Navajo Agency areas and provided over 25 communities with food boxes of nutritious foods. So our team consisted of numerous volunteers around the community who were willing to donate their time and energy to support these individuals and communities during this difficult time.
Enchant the Environment is a program within Diné Introspective where we are restoring ancestral foodways and traditional agricultural techniques to support and sustain Diné food systems. The goal is to revitalize traditional agricultural practices and indigenous foodways to improve food security on the Navajo Nation. Enchant the Environment supports farmers, ranchers, gardeners, herbalists, and community members to revitalize their farmland, to reconnect with the land in such a way where we implement the Diné culture and teachings. The program activities of the land include development and management. Many health complications distort our well-being, which include heart disease, diabetes, hypertension, depression, anxiety, and addiction. And through practicing ancestral foods, we are able to heal the body. We are able to establish ourselves with the land and all the sacred elements within the earth that Our culture strives to be 102 years old. And through ceremony, song, and prayer, we can reconnect, heal our mind, body, and spirit. Indigenous culinary art is an extension of Enchant the Environment, where we conduct food demonstrations within the community, like at the farmers market, flea market, as well as to any organizations or programs that request our service. These food demonstrations are utilizing ancestral foods to understand that there is a special relationship between us and the food, and that within the food there is a true identity of who we are that correlates with the region of the land. The food demonstrations also recruit local chefs to share their knowledge, to share these recipes. And overall, we want our community members to eat healthy and to realize that slow foods, ancestral foods, that farm to table is food sovereignty, is food security. And also understanding that plants is medicine, food is medicine. Within the food, we can heal ourselves, we can strengthen ourselves, and this goes beyond the mind and the body, and this carries on through the spirit.
Thank you so much for watching our video. You can catch us on social media at Facebook or Instagram, or you can check out our website at www.dineintrospectiveina.org. And from there, you can either donate to us, support us, or volunteer with us. Thank you. Iyahat.
My name is Wango. I'm from Congo. I have been here in Albuquerque for 3 years. I go to school. I'm a freshman in college now, and I'm one of the farmers in Rio Grande Community Farm in 3 Hermanas. So for me, about farming, it's really something that I like and something that I enjoy. I grew up watching my family farming, and I grew up where there was a lot of big farmers, not just a little garden, but big farmers, and they have a lot of different vegetables and different fruit that they planted. So it's a really good thing for me to always be here in the farm. And you can see I planted all these. It's really good thing. So I really like farming.
Hello, my name is Peter Nardini, and I'm the project coordinator for the Lutheran Family Service WRAP program, and WRAP is the Refugee Agriculture Partnership Program. And we have several projects under the WRAP program, one of them being the Hermanas Farm Incubator, and right now I'm standing in the greenhouse that we use to grow our starts for the farm. We have starts that we grow to put in the fields, in a hoop house, and also to sell to the public in the plant sale. And we also have another part of our program, which is a garden access program. And we work with refugee families that come, refugee and asylum families that come to Albuquerque. And when they come here, a lot of them have some substantial, if not lifelong, experience in agriculture. And so we want to give them an opportunity to both garden here and grow stuff that's familiar to them and healthy in our garden project. And if they are also interested in making money and having a career, a part-time or full-time job farming, we bring them into the incubator program and show them how to do farming here in the U.S., which is a little bit different than what they're used to in their home countries. Right?
As a farm manager, my job is to work with the refugees and the refugee families who come down to the farm to develop a plan of what do they want to grow, and not only for their personal consumption and for the community, but also to be sold at the farmers market. So we want this to be so they can make money off of this as well. So my job is to find seeds, to irrigate, to do a lot of the earthwork management, to create farm plans, and to teach the farmers about farming here in New Mexico, because it's different farming, and anywhere you go it's going to be a little different farming. You're going to meet new challenges. So we also provide a community garden. So we work with different community gardens like in El Vado and a couple other with different schools, because being out here in at the Los Poblanos open spaces here close to Los Ranchos de Albuquerque, we're kind of far away from where a lot of our families live. So we offer both here a larger area where you can grow a lot more food to be able to go to market. There they focus on more of the, like I was talking about, growing food for the families, growing food for the communities. Chuck, you see behind me here, this is the Rio Grande. We partner with the Rio Grande Community Farm, and this is their tractor, but we've been lucky and fortunate enough to use it. So we train our farmers on tractor use, which really is a great skill to learn, because if they have jobs in warehouses, it teaches them how to use forklifts, how to operate large and heavy machineries. So any new skills that we can provide to our farmers, we're sure to be able to do.
Thanks.
Yeah, so there's also, when we planted an example like eggplants, there's first of all, I speak six languages, and those 6 languages, that's what we name, like in the plant they have different names in those languages. An example, my first language, if I say eggplant, we call that Ivitogi. In the other language, like in Swahili, we say Vitole, like that. So we call it different names, because I speak different languages. So this is what we call in my first language, we call it Isogo, which that's in Kinyamulenge. And in another language in Swahili we call that Mboga Uchungu. These leaves right here, you see, it's really good for like your stomach. It's kind of like a medicine, but also we really love to eat it. They're so delicious, they're really good. And then it's kind of like really common to all East African country. They really like it. And also there's another fruit like eggplants. Those are the eggplants. You can see some of them. It's like African eggplants. So those ones too are really good. So that's some part of the vegetables that they like, and then they're so delicious. But that was some of the different vegetables that I was telling you from here in my country. Here, people doesn't know about it, and they really some farmers don't have it, but they so good and delicious. And that is amaranth. Some people know about amaranth, but it's not really common food here. A lot of people doesn't know about it too, but they really good and it's so delicious. It's kind of all of them. You kind of always cook it by boiling it, and some others you can even put some seasoning just to make it taste better. But they always delicious.
Oremos. Padre nuestro, Señor Todopoderoso, Venimos delante de ti con acción de gracias y de alabanza, buscando tu favor y misericordia. Te agradecemos porque hasta aquí hemos contado con tu infinito amor y con todas tus bendiciones. Reconocemos que en algún momento nos encontrábamos perdidos y sin dirección, pero tú nos has traído a tus brazos dándonos refugio y bienestar. Muchos de nosotros somos inmigrantes y refugiados, personas que buscamos un futuro mejor para nuestros hijos y familias. Así como tu pueblo anduvo en el desierto buscando la tierra prometida, así hay muchas familias hoy en día en busca de nuevos lugares para vivir, poniendo la confianza en ti, un Dios que los guía, los cuida y los alimenta. Hoy estamos pidiéndote, Señor, que en tu mano poderosa estés sobre todas las personas que pasan por situaciones difíciles, de hambre, enfermedad, falta de trabajo, débiles en su fe y sin esperanza. Que tú, Señor, llenes sus corazones con tu amor y tu infinita misericordia, dándoles esperanza en un futuro mejor para ellos y sus hijos. Muévenos para que podamos ser testimonio tuyo, llevando la ayuda y el apoyo necesario para todas aquellas personas que sufren de violencia, racismo, discriminación, persecución y aislamiento. Que nuestros corazones se acerquen al pueblo y aboguen por justicia, y que por medio de nuestras acciones podamos luchar por un mañana mejor. Danos la fortaleza y valor por medio de tu Espíritu Santo para llevar las buenas nuevas de salvación a otros y proclamar tu reino de amor y justicia. En nombre de Cristo Jesús, nuestro Señor y Salvador, oramos. Amén.
Bueno, sí, aquí somos un grupo de la iglesia, el Calvario. Hacemos muchos servicios, todo lo que sea ayudar a la comunidad, aquí lo realizamos.
El Calvario's Kitchen Incubator will help economic recovery and development by providing a place for learning new vocational and entrepreneurship skills. Here, the community can have access to the resources that will help them achieve their dreams.
Y estamos ayudando a todos los inmigrantes, a todo el que venga necesitado. Por ahora, que muchos que perdieron su trabajo, todas las familias que perdieron su trabajo, que a llenar papeles, como traducir actas, como hacer renovación de la residencia. Somos un grupo que desde casi 2 años o cerca de 2 años nos hemos dedicado a eso, especialmente a ayudarlo de la comunidad. Y gracias a Dios, pues me siento muy bien porque mucha gente se ha ido bien contenta.
I am currently the Community Outreach Coordinator, and Resiliency does a couple of different things, from legal services to those that are dealing with immigration issues, to providing food, clothing to those who need it. We also collect donations for our sister shelter across the border in Juarez, and then we've also recently started with collecting donations for the Afghan refugees that are coming in. So the last month we also helped with flooding locally.
Oh, wow.
So we do quite a bit of things. Emergency response is becoming a big thing for us as well.
Okay.
So just a variety of things that essentially help the community.
Okay, great. Yeah, and I think we're particularly interested today in work with immigrants and refugees, as well as any outreach to reduce hunger. So tell me a little bit about the shelter in Juarez, Mexico that you support. How many people are there, and kind of what you see is happening there?
Yeah, so in the shelter, it's called Pan de Vida. It is in Juarez, Mexico. And we collect not only donations, but also monetary donations. And those things go towards the infrastructure of the shelter. And we take everything from food to hygiene products to baby products to them. Anything that they might need at the moment, they just kind of make the call to us, and we put it out to our allies and our community members and volunteers. Okay. And they really all come through.
And about how many people are at the shelter?
At max, there's typically around 300. They're comfortable with, I think, about 150 to 200. So when they hit 300, it gets really tight and tough for them.
Okay. And you had a program earlier this year with a grant from USDA to provide food to the community. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we were able to serve 200 to 300 people a week for about 5 to 6 months.
And with food boxes, right?
With food boxes, with the essentials, and people would just come here and pick them up. We don't really ask a whole lot of questions or backgrounds. We just serve the people.
Okay, great. And where are the immigrants from at the shelter in Juarez?
Typically, they're mostly from Guatemala, El Salvador, and Honduras.
My name is Kyle Locke. I'm the gardener and I do some facilities maintenance.
El Calvario is dedicated to helping the community in a variety of ways. One of those ways is providing a garden that supplies fresh food for those who are being aided.
Before it got real hot, we were putting out vegetables for about 10 to 12 families for a day or two a week, so it was a pretty good amount.
El Calvario is working to create a cultural and economic center for the community, called the El Calvario Agape Mercado. This mercado will include cultural activities, allow vendors to sell their food and crafts, and help improve nutrition. It will also provide gardening and cooking classes for the community.
I just feel very grateful to be a part of something that I feel is a good thing.
Along with the garden, El Calvario has a large selection of clothing for those clients that pass through, should they need it. They also offer humanitarian and emergency assistance, along with advocacy, education, social, and legal services.
We have a great pre-manufactured house that is full of clothes, and when we have clients come that need clothes or shoes or soccer cleats or bedding, they go in there and they can grab whatever they want. It's like Ross, but everything is free. I just feel very grateful to be a part of something that I feel is a good thing.
Hello, my name is Gabriela Marquez. I was born and raised in Brazil and live in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I am a member of the Baha'i community. I will now share a prayer in Portuguese from the Baha'i faith about protection for comfort for families and children across the world during this time of uncertainty. Louvado seja teu nome, ó Senhor meu Deus. Por esse nome, através do qual a hora soou, a ressurreição veio a realizar-se, e o temor e a trepidão se apoderaram de todos que se encontram no céu e na terra. Suplico-te que faça chover do céu da tua misericórdia e das nuvens a tua carinhosa compaixão, e que possa alegrar os corações daqueles teus servos, que para ti se envolveram e ajudaram em tua causa. Protege teus servos e tuas servas, ó meu Senhor, das setas da vã fantasia e das ideias fúteis, e permite-lhes sorverem das mãos da tua graça as águas suaves do teu conhecimento. Tu, em verdade, és o onipotente, o excelso, o que sempre perdoa, o mais generoso. Baha'u'llah.
اللهم يا رب العالمين ويا أرحم الراحمين ويا أكرم الأكرمين اللهم أعط منفقا خلفا اللهم أعط منفقا خلفا اللهم كل من ساهم في إطعام الطعام اللهم كل من ساهم في إطعام الطعام أكرمه يا رب العالمين بالجنة من جميع أبوابها اللهم يا رب العالمين أكثر مال المسلمين اللهم يسر أمورهم وفرج همومهم ووسع أرزاقهم يا رب العالمين آمين آمين جزاكم الله خيرا واجتهدوا في الصدقة بارك الله فيكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon all of you. Islam cares a lot about the issue of feeding the hungry people and feeding the poor and the needy. Number one, it is one of the goals that Islam is looking for, is to help everybody, whether a Muslim or a non-Muslim. The Quran is full of verses that talk about this issue. And the Prophet ﷺ, peace and blessings will be upon him, he said that one of the keys to enter Jannah is to feed the hungry people. It is a duty, it is a task, it is something highly rewarded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by God the Almighty, to share part of your food and to give those who really need it. Islam encourages everybody who has extra to help his brother and sister, and that is something highly recommended in our religion. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Peace and the blessings will be upon you all.
Assalamu alaikum. May God's peace be upon all of you. My name is Mariam. I am a nurse and a mother and a part of the Islamic Center of New Mexico's Sisters Food Program. I also work at UNM as a nurse and help run a food program and do refugee health and well-being through one of our local clinics. It's incredibly important that as a society we take care of each other, which includes food. If people aren't hungry, they can't meet any of the other needs that they have in this life. And in Islam we have a tradition of making sure that our neighbors, our family, our friends are taken care of. So I think the act of breaking bread and sharing a cup of tea with other people is a universal way to show love and care and compassion for each other. So inshallah, God willing, we can all continue to take care of each other, feed those who are in need, and if we're ever in need, hopefully the favor is returned in abundance in this life or the next.
Assalamu alaikum. Greetings of peace. My name is Amna Nair, and I volunteer as the Public Relation and Marketing Coordinator for the Islamic Center of New Mexico Sisters Food Project. Our mission is the verse from the Holy Quran, chapter 76, verse 8 and 9, that reads, "The righteous are those who feed the poor, the orphans, and the captive for the love of God, saying, we feed you for the sake of God alone, and we seek from you neither reward nor thanks." New Mexico welcomes roughly 250 new refugees into Albuquerque each year. Although the nationalities of these refugees represent change by year, many of these refugees in Albuquerque come from Afghanistan, Iraq, and the Great Lakes region of Africa. ICNM Sisters Food Project formally started in March 2020. To this date, we have served about 19 distributions, and each distribution we give away about 60 to 70 boxes on average. Each box has enough groceries to serve a family of 4 members. Every 3 months we are giving away hygiene products also with those distributions. According to the recent survey that we conducted, we see that about 75% of the families that we serve include the Southeast Asian families, which are mainly the Afghan refugees. About 12% identify themselves as white or Caucasian, and less than 12% are from the African background, and less than 10% are from multiple ethnicities. To accommodate the needs of these families, we have translated our flyers into multiple languages. I think to this date we have about 7 languages which our flyers have been translated. Among our volunteers, we do have most of them who speak more than 1 language. Please contact ICNM Sisters Food Project with any questions that you may have. Our email address is sisters.food.hygiene@gmail.com. I pray to God that, O Allah, ease the affairs and relieve the worries and bless all with peace, and bless us with the best in this world and the hereafter. Ameen. Happy World Hunger Day all.
Realmente aprecio mucho la ayuda que están dando a toda la gente, no importa la religión o si son de su comunidad o no.
Thank you. Why do you volunteer for this project?
Conozco gente de la comunidad y un día me compartieron para ver si conocía a alguien que necesitara del programa, y lo compartí con gente que conozco, y también he visto que gente que pasa por aquí también vienen y preguntan si pueden recibir ayuda de ustedes, y ustedes siempre les han dado. Creo que es un muy bonito programa.
Mashallah, mashallah, wonderful. Thank you, gracias, muchas gracias.
De nada.
Hi, my name is Mazir. I'm an attendee of the MTO Shah Mahsudi School of Islamic Sufism, sharing today verses of hope from Rubai 401 of Divan Shams by Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi. گر هیچ نشانه نیست اندر وادی بسیار امید هاست در نومیدی. ای دل مبر امید که در روضه جان خرما دهی ار نیز درخت بیدی. Translated, if there is no sign in the valley, there is a lot of hope in despair. O heart, do not lose hope that in the garden of life you can produce dates even if you are a willow tree.
Hello, my name is Lynn Hinton, and I am the Conference Director of the New Mexico Conference of Churches, and it is my honor to share this prayer with you today. Blessed God, we gather in this time of prayer as your people. We honor your faithfulness to us and pray this day for those who hunger, for children across our world who do not have enough to eat, for mothers and fathers and elders seeking paths to sustainable solutions for hunger, for the challenges especially faced by our poor and those in our indigenous communities. Hear our prayer and help us to be mindful of our actions, understanding that what we do, how we eat, how we take care of the earth bears consequences on this world today and for generations to come. And now from the Zuni prayer at sunrise. Now this day, my son, Father, now that you have come out standing to your sacred place, that from which we draw the water of life, prayer meal, here I give to you. Your long life, your old age, your waters, your seeds, your riches, your power, your strong spirit, all these to your children may you grant. Amen.
This song and dance have become a tradition at World Food Day. We have done it at every World Food Day celebration in New Mexico since the first one. Every year, we film in a different location. And this year, we are at the La Mesa Community Garden in the International District in Albuquerque. Open our hands that all may be fed. Open our hearts that all may find refuge. Open our eyes that all may see the oneness of Earth's family. Open our hands that all may be fed. Open our hearts that all may find refuge. Open our eyes that all may see the oneness of Earth's family. Open our hands that all may be fed. Open our hearts that all may find refuge. Open our eyes that all may see the oneness of Earth's family.